The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play their fantasy pick'em for a chance to win 100x in NBA, MLB, MMA, NHL, golf, and more. Sign up today at UnderdogFantasy.com using promo code NBA SGPN to get a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Royal Retros. Royal Retros has jerseys, t-shirts, hats, jackets, and sweatshirts from all the old school teams you love. Use promo code SGPN for a 10% off your order today. That is SGPN at royalretros.com. Yes, sir. We're back with another edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really raw, villain raw. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. All right, so I know we're only, for the most part, one game into the second round. We have two games in the Nuggets and Minnesota series because they kicked it off first. And as I can say right now, there's a possibility that the Nuggets turn this around. I'm going to be the antagonist in that. But there's a possibility they turn this around. There is. It's not over. It's really not. So if you're a Nuggets future, Nuggets fan, whatever, it's not over. However, Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton, and Jason Tatum / Jaylen Brown. There is a chance that one of those players gets their first ring this year. It's a new league. It's a new league.
Can we argue that it's been a new league because LeBron hasn't made it to the finals since the bubble?
So are we?
It's kind of his league for about a decade and change.
Yeah, I think last year was really the kickoff because even after Bron stopped, consistently going to the finals for 10 straight years, you still had the Warriors that were very competitive. You still had, Giannis and KD and, those guys that were still competitive and getting there. Chris Paul and the Suns got to the finals one time. But last year, Jokic got his first. Jimmy almost got his first. And now it looks like we're about to have another basically new champion in the league and new face of the league. So, yeah, I didn't leave Curry out. I said Curry. So I just think that now it's a renaissance. It's like a renaissance. And I'm excited. Because I'm excited to see some new blood. I'm excited to see new players win their first championship. It's fun. It's fun for league. As much as I love seeing Bron, Steph, KD, all that. This is really, really fun because I'm a huge fan of SGA, as everybody knows. Anthony Edwards has completely made me do a 180 on what I thought he was going to be when he came into the league. And there's so much more, man. This is a renaissance. This is a renaissance in the NBA of new talent taking over and winning championships. And it's really, really fun to watch right now. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. Hopefully the game tonight is more competitive than the two games yesterday because those games were absolutely terrible. But overall, had a pretty good day. Ended up splitting my lock and dog picks. I had Tatum double-double, which got there. I like plus 120. Never in doubt. Offensively, he was not very good last night, but it didn't matter because he ended up with 11 rebounds. So that worked out well. Thought the Celtics would kill the Cavs. They did. They won by 25. That game kind of played out the way that I thought it would. As for the Thunder game, I did pick Dallas to win the series, but I did pick OKC to cover in game one. So overall, can't complain. Worked out pretty well for me.
So, wait, what was your dog?
Oh, I ended up taking a baby dog, which I knew you wouldn't approve of. I took Tatum double.
You only do it when I'm not around.
Yeah, because you can't give me shit for it.
I don't like that. You do it when I'm not around.
A win's a win. as far as I'm concerned. But
Yeah.
also, I faded Lou Dort. I gave it as under in points. That got there, as Dort ended up finishing with 7. I thought he'd get into foul trouble guarding Luka, and he did. He had 5 fouls. So that worked out the way that I thought it would. Had the under in that game too, so that worked out. But overall, split my lock and dog picks. Ended up having the sides right in both games, and I had the total right in the Mavericks game. So pretty good day in general. You want to touch upon those games because they were kind of decided pretty early.
Yeah. It was the National Blowout Association last night. Celtics still can't stop centers. Mobley has 17 and 13, even in garbage time. Still cashed his props. And then SGA is really, really freaking good. I don't know how they're going to stop him in this series. I mean, you talked about Lou Dort having 5 fouls, but Lou Dort still did his job with those 5 fouls. Like, so SGA, and that's why I was on the Thunder. I just didn't think at the end of the day, there's nothing stopping SGA. He's going to get to the foul line. He's going to score. And I thought he was going to be a huge X factor in the series of just being able to score. And now that bench, Isaiah Joe still has 6 points. I mean, Casey Wallace, like Jalen Williams, Jay Will hit
Wiggins
a big
16
3.
points.
Like that was, oh man, I'm excited for this Thunder. Like I said, I'm excited for the Renaissance. I'm excited for the Renaissance and watching new team. Like, it was for so long, and I think it didn't even hit the same growing up, because growing up, at least at our age demographic, for a long time, it was the Spurs, it was the who was it? The Heat, the Lakers, Celtics had a little bit of a run in there.
Warriors.
Like, but it was the same thing. And then LeBron went through the 10 years in the finals, and it's like the same thing over and over. And while I enjoyed it, because I do enjoy watching Bron, this is great to watch, man. This is
there's more parity, which is what we enjoy. But yeah, Dort was, I thought, going to be the X factor of the series, because he's going to have to be given either the Luka assignment or the Kyrie assignment. But I figured he'd spend so much energy defensively that I thought he would purposefully take a backseat offensively, because maybe he just would try to conserve stamina, because they don't need him to score on this team. They just need him to play defense. So it worked out with Dort. I might go back to his unders in game 2, but it worked out in game 1.
Oh my God. Are you a hardcore baseball fan and just a degenerate in the office? I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me do that again. I'm laughing. Hey, are you a hardcore baseball fan? Like, you don't even have to be hardcore. Honestly, truly, are you just a casual baseball fan? You need some picks, man. Just go tap into the MLB Gambling Podcast. That's what I do. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore baseball fan, but I absolutely think that I would 100% just need some help in figuring out what do I want to play. I can go on our website, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, get picks, but that's just not enough. I need reasoning. I need understanding. So I tap into the MLB Gambling Podcast. So make sure you do that. Get your picks, get the banter, all of that. MLB Gambling Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe. All right, Scott, let's go ahead and get into the one game we have on the slate today, and that is my New York Knickerbockers going up against the Indiana Pacers in game 2 of their series. The Knicks are up 1-0. Pacers did get the cover in the last game. It was actually a really, really good game, and the fact of the Knicks had a little bit of adversity there. Pacers looked really, really good at the start. Game finished 121-117. I had the under. That was nowhere close. I also had Pacers. Didn't cash the Pacers money line, but I got the Pacers on the spread. Knicks be able to get it done. And for those that are just now joining the podcast or just now understanding and heard me say I'm on the Pacers, I need you. And they heard me say I'm also a Knicks fan. I need you to understand I have an agenda. Please respect my decision and my agenda. All right. Now in game 2, opened up at 6. It's down to 5. I saw it at 4.5, and I saw it just move back up to 5. So it's kind of been fluctuating between 6 and 4.5 here for the New York Knicks. 218.5 is the total here. Injury report for these two teams, and we have for the Pacers, clean injury report. Ben Mathurin, as we know, out for the season. And for the New York Knicks, Mitchell Robinson is going to be out for essentially the entire playoffs.
Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't think there's a path to come back 6 to 8 weeks. There's not a path to come back. So looks like Mitchell Robinson's out with that ankle injury. I mean, It is what it
Achua gets more
is.
minutes?
Huh?
Is it Achua who gets more minutes?
Oh, it has to be. Has to be. And so
I wasn't sure if Jericho Sims was still alive or not. That's why I was asking.
I don't even think they trust him enough, man. I think he's just there for depth and practice at this point. Like I don't even think they trust him enough in the playoffs in a playoff setting to give him minutes. So I think it's Precious Achua for sure. The Knicks get a little bit smaller here. Mitchell Robinson doesn't get the Professor Glass comments, but it's just been a really, really tough couple years for
I
Mitch.
mean,
It
I've
really has.
acknowledged it for years. Just nobody's ever talked about it. I feel like
I mean,
people
he's not
only make
he's a role
criticisms.
player. It's not like
Yeah,
AD
people
or
talk
like
about that for star players.
Embiid.
So, yeah. I mean, Robinson's injured all the time. You're just looking at a role player who people don't really think about. He's kind of a ticking time bomb physically. It's not his fault. Some people can stay healthy, some people can't. But Robinson's had issues with his legs for a long time. And it appears that whether it was Embiid who caused it or not, Robinson ended up getting hurt again. So we'll see what happens. But whatever.
All right. No Julius Randle, no Bojan Bogdanovic, as we know. So
Well, how concerning is that for you, though? I have to ask about Robinson because you brought him up. They never use their bench, ever. And now Robinson's out. So how concerning is that? Because Bogdanovic was brought in to help out the bench scoring. He got
uh-huh,
injured. Burks never
uh-huh,
plays. You're looking
uh-huh.
at Robinson, who's now out. How many buys do you actually have on this team? Like 6?
Mm, no, it's still no, they're still at
That Thibodeau
7.
actually trusts. 6 or
Yeah, they're
7?
still
Because
at
he got McBride
yeah,
off
they're
the bench.
still at 7. This is still
Okay.
a 7. This is still a strong 7 rotation of the starting 5 plus Achua and McBride. Like I don't think anything really changes. I think the thing that just really hurts is the fact that appreciate that Wham. I think the thing that really really hurts is the fact that now if Hartenstein gets into foul trouble, there's not a backup option.
Yeah.
There's not a, we feel like if he gets into foul trouble, that's potentially a game loss for the Knicks because now you lose that depth and you lose that size because now you have no Mitch and you have no Hartenstein. And maybe a game like that is a game where Jericho Sims comes off the bench and he starts playing more because now you don't have Isaiah playing big minutes. So maybe that's a game that we do see Jericho Sims and Jericho Sims makes his way into the lineup. But I just think I just think it's minimal because of how much Tibbs is committed to playing his starters 42 minutes
Yeah.
or more. Like 4 of the 5 starters played 42 minutes or more in game 1.
I guess
So
what I'm asking you is long term, are you concerned with the amount of wear and tear on the Knicks starters because they're all playing 40 plus minutes every game?
I feel like I would have been concerned, but I'm not concerned now because the fact that they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I feel like hindsight 2020, if knock on wood, if an injury does happen to somebody in that starting 5, people are gonna be like, that's what you get for playing them 40 plus minutes. But if honestly, truly, a lot of things that I hate about Tibbs, if he doesn't play these guys 40 plus minutes, they're not in this situation.
They're going to lose. I mean, it is what it is.
They
They would have lost the
they
Philly
didn't
series
even
if they
get
didn't do that.
they didn't get to the 2 seed. They didn't get to the 2 seed. They didn't get past Philly in the first round. They didn't. Like he's now trained them all to understand 40 plus minutes. Josh Hart doesn't even look to come out in the game at this point. Like he doesn't even
should.
look to come out in the game. So
Yeah, he's too
I,
valuable.
I think they're fine. I truly think they're fine. And rotations are thinning up for a lot of teams around the league. So I just feel like, and in the finals, you're basically at a 6, maybe 7-man rotation in the finals if you get there as well. So I think it's all right. Like I think it'll be fine. To be honest, it sucks. It does, but Julius Randle not being there sucks, but they're still fine.
They've been getting
Bojan
by.
not being there sucks, but it's still fine. Like it sucks, but it'll be all right. I'm not afraid.
I guess the
So
reason why I'm bringing it up, though, is because these two teams are polar opposites of each other. The Knicks like to play slow. They like to play in the half court. Indiana likes to run. Indiana has a very solid bench. The Knicks have no bench whatsoever. And the question is, something's going to have to give in the series. So we saw the bench point differential in game 1. McConnell outplayed Halliburton by a mile. You could argue that Halliburton arguably should have been benched in that game. That's how bad he was. But you're looking at the actual bench points in game 1, and the Pacers, I mean, it wasn't even close. To go through the actual bench point disparity between these teams, Indiana ended up leading that category. I don't have it on ESPN. That's really a pain in the ass. It was a lot. I have to pull that up, but the point is, it's really an interesting battle of styles and philosophy because Carlisle trusts the bench a lot. The Knicks don't trust the bench at all, and they're kind of battling it out. That's why it's interesting.
It was 46-3.
46-3 in
Yes.
bench points.
And
So
that's
that
math in
tells-
public, people, by the way. That's mental math in public. Shout out to the education system.
Yeah. 46-3. That's what we're talking about because I have to at least acknowledge the lack of another body for the Knicks because Robinson is a bench player. And the Knicks got outscored by 43 points on the bench. Now, Robinson's not going to give you much scoring off the bench, but it is pretty fascinating. If you do think the series goes long, does that benefit Indiana because their guys actually have potentially more backup options because the bench has actually been reliable for that team? Maybe. I'm not sure it's going to matter, but I'm at least bringing it up. It is pretty interesting to see how these two teams got to the same point using completely just different philosophies when it comes to roster management. I find that pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I think that the Knicks are committed to this 5, and
as they should be.
I think that I mean, I'm really not too concerned about the bench of the Pacers just because, leading that way was TJ McConnell, Obi Toppin, and I just don't think they're going to do that every night. Those were really, really good games they had last game. Like and ultimately, if I was not having an agenda, if I did not have an agenda, I would pick the Knicks to blow them out tonight because I think everything went right for the Pacers in that game, and they lost. The only thing that didn't go right was Tyrese Halliburton, and they still found a way to be in that game. And at this point, with Tyrese Halliburton's back with the hamstring injury that he had earlier, that I think he's still nursing that and the back injury, honestly. I know for a fact the back is still a problem, but I really, really think that hamstring is still a problem too. He's just not the player he was before the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, he got hurt, and injuries just he's not the same player. And at this point, I'm tired of expecting him to be that same player. This is who he is now, and he's doing as best as he can. And I just don't think it's going to be enough. Whereas everybody else, I think there's slight regression on this team. The Knicks won the rebounding battle, 40-32. The Knicks are. I would think that the Knicks would blow them out in game 2, similar to how the Thunder had a very close game against the Pelicans and then killed them in game 2. I think it's something similar to that script right there. But yeah, I can't take the Knicks though. Pacers +5.5.
Well, you got to keep doing what's working for you. I will take.
Hey man, Knicks. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping.
Yeah,
I'm fully.
I will take the Knicks in this game. I think that this line is disrespectfully short. I understand the argument is Indiana arguably should have won game 1, and they were posed potentially on 2 calls in the final minute. I don't really care. I feel like, as you said, maybe they gave the Knicks their best shot, and now they're due to regress a bit. But the Knicks were laying 5.5 or 6 in game 1. Now it's down to 4.5. I think it's a good buy low spot. Indiana is objectively a bad defensive team. They are not a good defensive team at all. I don't know what their game plan was on Brunson. They just let Nembhard get killed for 3 quarters and said, we'll figure it out. I don't know what their game plan was. Brunson went to the line 14 times. I just don't really know what Indiana's supposed to do defensively because they foul a ton. They never get to the foul line themselves. I believe they have the worst free throw differential in the entire league. And that's going to be a problem because Brunson, whether you like watching it or not, if you want to call him a flopper or not, he is very good at manipulating contact and getting to the free throw line. Halliburton is not. I've roasted Halliburton for months because I think he's a finesse player that is afraid of contact, both offensively and defensively. And Halliburton is not going to be able to manufacture points that way. He shoots threes, and that's kind of all he does at this point. I know he had the and one floater against the Bucks to win that one game, but I think you'd agree with me. Halliburton's kind of turned himself, either because of injury or not, into a three-point shooter instead of really attacking the basket because he's afraid of contact and he never goes to the free throw line, which is really annoying. For a guy that has the ball in his hands all the time, he never goes to the line. And I think that's going to be a serious problem in this series because the Knicks are willing to constantly attack the basket. And I think that with Indiana fouling a lot, foul trouble can be a concern, but it mostly comes down to the requirement for Indiana of Halliburton having big games. And I don't trust him enough offensively to actually have these big games post-injury, as you said. So far in the playoffs, he's had a couple of good games, usually when he gets hot from three. If he does not get hot from three, he's not going to play well. And also, it is worth mentioning, and I've criticized him for this before, Halliburton is an atrocious defensive player. He is a horrible defensive player, especially for a guy that's 6'5". He doesn't try to guard anybody. He's afraid of contact. He moves out of the way all the time. The OG steal and dunk in the second half we saw in that game, Halliburton ran underneath the basket. It's a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. He's running underneath the basket. He's terrified of contact. So the issue I have with Indiana, I don't want to call this team soft, but defensively, when your star player is not going to even try, it kind of trickles down, and it might explain why Indiana is this bad of a defensive team. But until Halliburton figures it out, if he's going to keep playing 36 minutes and change, and he's going to give you nothing defensively, I know he had 4 steals in game 1, but he did not play well defensively, and he's going to give you an underwhelming performance offensively, I can't pick them. I'm going to go with the Knicks. I think Brunson and the Knicks know what their offensive identity is. Give the ball to Brunson, get the hell out of the way, and when they start trapping or double teaming or helping out on the drive, other guys are wide open for 3. And it has worked out quite well for this team. Brunson's had 40-plus points in 4 straight playoff games. Give me the Knicks with the crowd. You can argue with ref conspiracies or not, but I do think conspiracies or not, but I do think at the end of the day, the Knicks win this game by 8, if I had to guess. I do think, though, it's weird. The Pacers played almost a perfect game, 46 bench points. They lost the game by 4, and now they're expecting the Pacers to repeat that same effort in MSG. Feels a bit disrespectful to me. Give me the Knicks minus 4.5. I had Knicks in 5 when the series started, so I'm going to stay with it.
The NBA playoffs are here, and our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy, wants to make it a lot more interesting because they are the easiest place to play fantasy sports. You can play fantasy pick'em, simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like points, rebounds, and assists, not points, assists, rebounds, points, rebounds, and assists, and much more. You can do a whole bunch of different things. So make entries of all basketball, all men's basketball. You can even add some women's basketball. That's coming back next week. You can add MLB, MMA, golf, all of that stuff, and try to win 100 times your money. It's a ton of fun. It's available in 30 plus states, including California, Texas, and even Canada. And they just launched their player versus player champions format in Florida. So make sure you tap into that as well. So make sure you use sign code NBA SGPN. That is NBA SGPN. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That is UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. I'm not going to roast Halliburton to the level that you did, but I do understand. I'm going to stick with my point of this man is clearly hurt, and he's not doing anything on either side of the ball. It's too extensive trying to make sure that he lasts, this whole run.
Yeah. And he's playing 36 minutes, though. You're mentioning he's not doing much on both sides of the ball. That's a ton of minutes for a guy that's not really giving you many positive contributions right now.
Yeah, but it's like you live with the sword, you die by the sword, and that's your guy. I mean, I don't see how any coach, I don't think there's a coach in the league that would not play their guy even if they're hurt. And that's the bad part about the league and about players playing with injuries is because they're compromised, and clearly it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. They're going to, people are going to have takes like you. People are going to have takes like me, and it doesn't matter. They got to just get through it. So,
to be clear, by the way, I do agree Halliburton's injured. The reason why I'm so critical of his defense is because even when he was healthy, he was never a good defensive player by any means. That's why I'm kind of holding him accountable.
Total is at 218.5. I actually don't think the Pacers are going to score this game. And if the Pacers aren't going to score, but I'm still on the Pacers, I personally have to be on the under 218.5.
Okay, sorry. Where do you see 218.5? I see 222.5. Where do you see 218.5?
Let's see it right here. Hold on.
That's why I was confused. I see 22.
Total. Yeah, consensus is 218. I mean, Let me
Okay,
go.
so maybe ESPN bet went rogue. Let me just.
Let me
Oh yeah,
look at.
ESPN just made up a number. Okay, it's 218 now.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
218 on.
fine.
Yeah, it's 218 on multiple
Yeah,
books.
okay.
Okay. So I am very, very. I think that this is one. I'm sticking with. I don't care that I lost one game. I'm sticking with my Pacers on the road. The game goes under. Sticking with that. But I also do think that the Knicks come out with a better defensive intensity this game. I think the Pacers actually come out with a better defensive intensity. Maybe they realize that, hey, probably we should double this guy called Jalen Brunson and not let him get and make anybody else beat us. Now, unfortunately for the Pacers, there's a bunch of other people that can beat you on this Knicks team. However, just not Jalen Brunson. Just not Brunson. I was texting some friends during the game, and I was like, yeah, if they're just gonna put Nembhard on Brunson and that's it, they're not gonna do anything else. They're just gonna say, "Hey, Nembhard, you're guarding Brunson. Brunson's gonna keep this 40 streak up," and he did. He ended up getting 43.
They just hung
So,
Nembhard out to dry. They're like, oh yeah,
like, that
just
is
have
like,
fun.
no, honestly, if I'm Andrew Nembhard, I'm boxing everybody in the locker room.
Mhm.
I'm boxing the coach. I'm boxing anybody that saw me win that performance and didn't help. I'm boxing everybody. Just line it up. Y'all can all line it up. We'll do 30 each one because that's insane. That was embarrassing. That was
Yeah.
insane. Like, and there was no adjustment. No adjustment. They just said, "Oh yeah, you got him. You can handle him. You good." And I mean, maybe that's a lot of credit to how they feel about Nembhard as a defender, but I hope there's another plan tonight. So that's what I'm on. I think that it's adjustments. It's game two. Game two unders have been pretty well. I think that this is another one where it's going to go under. But I do like that Pacers team total under, even though I'm on the Pacers. I think that they're just going to low score and keep the game a low scoring game. 218.5 is the under as well. All right. What do you like?
I'm still going to go with the Knicks and the over. I know what your point is about Indiana trying to play better defense. I'm not sure they're capable of playing good defense. I think they're a horrible defensive team. They were good against Milwaukee at the end of the series because half of Milwaukee's team died. And then Lillard came back and they smacked him in game 6. So that was one good showing there. Milwaukee just couldn't shoot in that game. They shot terribly from the floor. I don't know what adjustments Indiana's going to make defensively. I don't want to try to guess what adjustments they're going to make defensively because Rick Carlisle and this team have decided that defense is optional for months. So I'm not going to pretend that they're going to suddenly switch a gear, flip a gear, and become a good defensive team. The Knicks might play better defensively, so I do agree with that. But I'm not picking this game to land in the 230s. I just need this game to get into the 220s, which I think is kind of likely here. I think the Knicks can definitely reach 115 in this game, maybe 120 potentially, but the issue still remains. The Pacers foul a ton, and they have all season long. And I do think with the Knicks constantly attacking the basket, whether it's Brunson, whether it's Hart, maybe even DiVincenzo, I do think they can get to the line a lot, which will help their overall total. So I don't mind the Knicks team total over in this game. I think they might be able to actually get to 115, 120 again. But I am going to link to the over because I don't think Indiana's a good defensive team. And I do think Indiana, you mentioned, maybe plays better defense, but they have to play fast. They had success playing fast in game 1. It worked out. And the argument is if the Knicks starters are going to play 40 to 45 minutes, you want to play fast because that's going to involve the Knicks to actually run back and forth the entire time. So I think Indiana's going to want to keep the same tempo. They might stick with the same game plan they had in game 1. The problem was defensively they were a mess, but arguably you can argue that they're going to stick with the same game plan because if the referees didn't screw them over on 2 calls in the final minute, maybe they're up 1-0. Maybe. That's their argument. I think they can make an argument about that. So I do think you're looking at a spot where the Pacers will try to play fast. They're going to use the bench unit. They're going to try to kind of wear down the Knicks physically by playing so up-tempo. I see points here. So I'm going to go with the Knicks, and I am going to go with the over. So give me a rinse and repeat. Not as high scoring as game 1. I do expect the Knicks to play better defense, but Robinson didn't play much in game 1, but he's still a very good rim protector. And that does concern me that the Knicks don't have as much rim protection as they had previously. So maybe Siakam gets going. He was very solid in the second half, attacking Anunoby in the low block. So maybe they go back to that. Maybe Turner hits some threes. Maybe Halliburton actually does something offensively. But I'm going to go with the over. I think this game lands in the 220s.
All right. Let's see. Player props. I think Indiana has one consistent thing that's probably going to go well for them, and that's Miles Turner.
I think you're going to say TJ McConnell.
No, I actually think TJ McConnell's going to be bad today. I think he had his Madison Square Garden moment, and he's going to be bad today. I expect to see a bunch of people playing TJ McConnell. I don't think he's going to do anything.
I actually like McConnell a lot. He's one of my favorite backup point guards in the league. So I have faith. I don't mind McConnell assists maybe in this game, but I can understand your point. The Knicks might have overlooked them. They might give him extra.
They're not giving he
here.
went 9 for 16 for 18
Yeah.
points, bro. He's not doing that again. He's not doing.
I
that
see the
again.
assist maybe for McConnell.
Yeah,
But
assists. Okay, I could buy you. I could buy.
He's going to
that,
play a lot of
but-
minutes. He kind of has to. He was that good in game one. So
Yeah. All right. But Miles Turner has been on a tear. Honestly, truly, like we go back to last series and he eclipsed 20 plus points 3 times in that series, 22, 29, 29. He's looked good. He shot the ball from 3 really well. He shot 43.9% in that first series, came back against the Knicks, still shot 2 for 6, 33%, but he put up 23 points in that. Like, he may not rebound the basketball, and we know that. We've roasted Miles Turner for years, being a big that doesn't rebound the basketball. But at the end of the day, he is a willing scorer. That Rick Carlisle does enjoy using him with Tyrese Halliburton in the pick and roll. And because Tyrese Halliburton is compromised, he's going and scoring more off those chances. Like, it's not, him and Halliburton in a 2-man game. It's more of just Turner, and Turner's taking that offense and going. So I think that he's going to continue to be really, really good here. So I don't know how I can convince myself off of Miles Turner points. I think that's the trend that continues going from game 1 to game 2. Miles Turner continues scoring. He was at 17.5 last game. He went over. I'm taking him at 17.5 this game again too. Miles Turner over 17.5 points.
okay, so if we're going to stick with Turner, I might as well stick with the negatives. I like Turner under in rebounds in this game. He doesn't bother. Like, I just feel like you're looking at a guy who spends so much time trying to pick and pop on the pick and rolls that they run all the time that he never gets any offensive rebounds. And you can get under 7.5 rebounds at minus 135. He just does not rebound the ball. He had to go through game 1. He had 2 rebounds. 2. He had 2 rebounds, and he played 34.5 minutes. He's had less than 6 rebounds in 3 straight games. And against the Knicks, he's had less than 5 rebounds in 2 of the last 3. So I don't think Turner rebounds the ball. It's just a matter of his role on this team. You could argue defensively, he might help out with crashing the glass. He clearly didn't do that in game 1. So he had 2 rebounds in 34 minutes. Now I'm supposed to expect him to get 8 in game 2. Minus 135. I like that deal personally. The Knicks are very good on the glass with Hart, with Anunoby, with all the other guys, Hardenstein as well. I just think you're looking at a spot where Turner is a finesse big man. That's what he is, and I'm going to call him out for it. So give me the under on Turner rebounds at 7.5.
I mean, let's just keep the rebound tip going. JR went ahead and beat me to it, but yeah, we was on OG last show. I'm on him again, man. It's the same reason. The Knicks are going to dominate on the boards, and now there's even more reason for him to dominate. No Mitchell Robinson. And so OG, I'm pretty sure OG and one of those 4 players that had 40 plus minutes. He's always on the court. And honestly, truly, he should have had a double-double last game. They took a rebound away from him. I remember seeing him at 4 rebounds at half, and then I look back and he had 3. Next thing I know, he's got 9 at the end of the game. He had a double-double there waiting on him. So that 5-1 double-double was almost there. I think OG is going to continue to do. He's been a very, very solid rebound. It's just the Knicks look to rebound, and I think that's the issue with the Pacers. The Pacers don't care to rebound. Like, they don't even. It doesn't even look like they're trying to rebound. They just think
they're trying to leak out for a fast break half the time that they don't bother crashing the glass.
And then the Knicks dominate. So, yeah, I'm all over OG again. Let me make sure I write that back down on my card. OG rebounds, they're at 6.5, minus 125. I think he goes over.
Yeah, I agree. I want to ask you about Brunson, because I'm trying to figure out if Indiana's actually going to make an adjustment defensively. Because, once again, since game one was very close, they can make an argument that we were fine. We just, unfortunately, were not able to get the calls down the stretch. We were up 9 early in the fourth quarter, and things kind of unraveled. My question for you is, Brunson's points are at 37.5. Is there any chance you take that? This is where we're at. He's at 40-plus points in 4 straight games. He's at 37.5. But if you want the under, does that mean you're pivoting to 8.5 assists? Because he's gone under in every game against Indiana this season.
I think I was just playing the assists to just play the assists. But I don't think that doesn't mean that I'm on the under for the points. Like, I feel like I can play his assists and just not play the points or take the over. Like, because 37.5 is crazy. It is. Actually, when's the last time we've seen somebody like legitly have 37.5 as their points prop?
I know Lillard had it a year ago or so in Portland. Luka,
I feel like Luka and Giannis both max out at like 35, maybe 36.5. 37 is insane.
Once because he dropped 70. So maybe Embiid after he scored 70 had like 37.5. Maybe.
Brunson has
so maybe Embiid had it like once or twice this year. Maybe.
Brunson's gone over this prop in 5 straight games. 5 straight games. I mean, I don't care. I'm not taking under. There's no way I can take an under with Brunson. There's no possible way.
I'm pivoting to assist personally. I like the double-double.
Let's just take the assist. He can honestly have 40 and 10. He could honestly have 40 and 10. And you know what?
He had 6 assists in game 1, but he had 15 potential. So he had a lot of opportunities.
The first half, the Knicks were really on bullshit with his assists. Like, they were missing. He had a lot of assist opportunities in that first half last game. And so that's why I'm like, the assist this game feels better because maybe the Knicks are a little bit more efficient. The pace slows down. They're more efficient because Dante caught fire in the fourth. Who else was it? Josh Hart was going the entire game, but I think it was really Dante. Dante had like I had his 3.5 threes last game. We were talking about it. Those threes.
I forgot he had 21 in the second half, I think.
Yeah, he caught fire, bro. It was like I had 3.5 threes and I gave up on the prop. I gave up. If I had a paper ticket, I would have balled it up and threw it in trash can. Like, I had gave up on the prop. And next thing I know, he catches fire. So, like, what if that's consistent over the course of the entire game? Like, what for this Knicks offense? I feel like the Knicks really just came alive in that second half for the most part. And, you know, it's a little too late for Brunson assist. Then Brunson gets over the 8.5 assists. I actually am considering Brunson double-double today.
I just want to see what the price is on that. But once again, 6 assists is misleading because if he had 15 potential, that just means that he gave his teammates good looks or opportunities, and they just bricked every shot. But double-doubles at plus 195. That I think I have to like.
I think that's what I'm playing today. Brunson double-double. All right.
Are you back to DiVincenzo threes? Because you mentioned that you did win on that in game
I was
1.
scared, but I was scared. I was scared for like 3 quarters. I was terrified for like 3 quarters. When he started 1 for 4 from 3, I gave up. Because I was like, and it was like 3 quarters in, he was 1 for 4, and he had 8 attempts at least. No, he had 9. What was it? What was his attempts against the Pacers this season? It was like 2 double-digit attempts and 1 9 attempt. And I was like, he's not even shooting. And I kind of gave up. And then when I gave up, he just woke up. So it's like, do I want to give up again?
No, I understand your point.
Let's run it back. No, I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
Nah, let's run it back. They're still in MSG. Let's run it back. They're still in MSG. And I think the Knicks are going to beat the shit out of it. Well, no, I don't think the Knicks are going to beat the shit out of Pacers. I think Pacers are going to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks beat the shit out of Pacers.
I still don't think Indiana's that good. I mean, I've gone on record with that. I think we'd all agree. I don't want to sound that disrespectful. If Milwaukee was healthy with Giannis, I know Indiana dominated the regular season. I think we all would have taken Milwaukee. Personally, if Giannis was healthy and Lillard was healthy, we were all probably still going to take Milwaukee. Am I wrong?
I thought they were going to be healthy, and I took Milwaukee. So
that's my point. I feel like most people acknowledge Indiana got a pretty lucky draw, getting a team that was missing its best player for the entire series. I'm still not sure Indiana's style of basketball is conducive to playoff success because they really don't guard anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't overlook that in the playoffs. You have to at least try to play defense.
Dante 3.5 threes is even money for those that were asking. It is even money. All right. Before we wrap things up, lock, dog, underdog lineup. Gotta talk to you about Royal Retros. Make sure you lock in the Royal Retros and just go get you some really, really cool, authentic gear. I gotta get me a new Giants jersey because everybody that I have on the Giants jerseys that I own are no longer on the Giants.
Well, I
And
do want to
so if
ask
I'm gonna
you, what's your move, though? Would you get a current player with a retro theme or an old player with a retro theme?
I haven't decided because I'm tired of buying player jerseys and them leaving us. I got Odell, and Odell left shortly after. I got Saquon, and Saquon left. I'm really just kind of, numb to the fact of these players just leaving me. And so it's like I could get a Kayvon Thibodeau jersey, but he's on his rookie deal. What if he leaves? Maybe sexy Dexter Lawrence. I might be interested in that. Pause. But uh, I maybe, but I
So
don't
no
know. I
Daniel
just
Jones.
no. Well, so I've actually considered getting a Daniel Jones jersey because again, every time I get somebody's jersey, they leave. So this might
Okay.
be it. Right now, it's working for the Knicks. It might work for the Giants as well. And so maybe I do need to put my money into a Daniel Jones jersey to get him off this team. Huh, man. So I don't know. I think I want the retro, or I just want somebody that I know has given contributions to the Giants in the past because I don't know what these new guys are doing.
So you want a David
But
Tyree jersey?
oh yeah, I would 100%. And my brother's name is Tyree. I would 100% get a David Tyree jersey. 100%. Yes, I only needed that one play. That's all I needed from you. All right. Use promo code SGPN at royalretros.com and get 10% off your order today. That's code SGPN at Royal Retros to get 10% off your order today. All right. Lock, dog, underdog. For tonight, I'm running it back because one, it's just a really good trend. Two, I really do think that game two unders is a thing, and that was the Pacers' best chance offensively on the road. At home, I think they'll have another good game like last game or even better. But on the road, I think that was the Pacers' last chance. And their only hope here now is to double the hell out of Brunson and hope that everybody else is just not there. And honestly, truly, I think the offense is going to look bad. If I'm wrong about the Pacers tonight, I think that they're either way, even if I'm right, even if I'm wrong, I don't think that they're putting up the points. And so let's go with Pacers. Team total under 107.5. I just don't think
Okay.
the Pacers are scoring today. I think I've seen them win low scoring games in that series against the Bucks, and I think they have a chance to do it today. So Pacers team total under 107.5. That is my lock. For my dog, could be Brunson. Could run OG back. What's OG's this game? Plus 360 figures. They woke up. Yeah, man. I think I'm rolling with Brunson double. He's just so good, man. All right,
I mean,
Brunson
it's a good
double
price.
at plus 175 is where I see it. What do you see? You see anything better than that?
I was pretty sure it was at like 190 and change. Let me just check quickly.
Let me.
Yeah, but you're going with Brunson double because I think we're gonna double dog that play because I just think the price is off for that one.
Yeah, I see plus 190. Yeah, I can't get past plus 190. I saw a plus 155 and I was willing not to do it, but that plus 190 is just too good. So
I see
that's basically 2 to
195.
1.
Yeah, it's
That's
190
basically
on
2 to
FanDuel.
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Give me Brunson.
15 potential assists. Any defensive adjustments involve double teaming or trapping Brunson. So I think you're looking at Brunson having a double. For my lock, though, you know what? I was going to do the Knicks, but I decided to go with a player prop. Thought about Turner rebounds, but you know what? I think I'm just going to dare this guy to actually do something. Give me Halliburton under 17.5 points. I think that line's way too high. Just based on how he's played recently, you can take 16.5 at plus money. I'll take 17.5 at minus 130. But looking at Halliburton's numbers recently, the points have obviously not been there. He had, 6 shot attempts in game one? The problem that I have with Halliburton is, once again, that he does not go to the free throw line ever. So he doesn't manufacture free points. He's had less than 18 points in 3 straight, less than 18 points in 6 of his last 8 games. And against the Knicks, he's had less than 16 points in 4 of his last 6 games. And I want to go through quickly the free throw attempts for Halliburton in the playoffs so far. Do you want to guess how many times Halliburton has attempted more than 3 free throws in a game in the last 10? Actually, you know what? The last 9 games. Do you want to guess how many times Halliburton's attempted 4+ free throws?
How many?
0. 0. He's attempted less than 4 free throws in 9 straight games. He is terrified to go to the rim. If he gets hot from 3, the Knicks are a pretty good defensive team against the 3 anyway. If he gets hot from 3, I'm going to have to live with it. But if the guy does not get to the free throw line ever, why would I take your over in points? And you mentioned that he's injured. He took 6 shots in game 1. He should take more than that, but the point is he's going to have to make a lot of jump shots to go over. I'll dare him to do so. Give me Halliburton under 17.5 points as my lock at minus 130. For my dog, give me Brunson double-double at plus 190.
I went ahead and took the liberty of writing it down. Scott locked another under on a player.
Yeah. To be fair, it has worked recently, though. I had the under with Gary Harris, and I had the under on Dort. It does not work for centers. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
It's usually a centers only thing.
Okay. All right.
But the guards have been pretty solid recently.
We have the trend. So we have the trend. Guards unders, cool. Centers and Harrison Barnes, no.
We're still
And
testing out, though, if the centers are just for points or they're also for other stuff. I think it's just for points. I think rebounds have actually been pretty good. I think it's just points that go against me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is hilarious, by the way. I think that this is a funny thing and it's so funny because the listeners actually, I know when you say, yeah, I'm going to take this player under, listeners be like,
But then for centers, they've been right. For the other players, I've been right for the last week or so. So
yeah. So get your get back, Scott. Get your get back against everybody fading your player prop unders for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Underdog. Let's do it. What do we have here today, Scott? Let's see.
Do you want to back my Halliburton play?
It's so funny because as soon as I opened up, how they have a special for Halliburton, 12.5 points higher.
I feel even better about my pick now. So I feel even better about it. Yeah, random promo. Guy who scored 6 points in game 1 to score 13 points. What can possibly go wrong? Yeah, I like the under.
Oh man, Brunson's is 33.5. That's the adjusted one. That's crazy to me. 33.5 is the adjusted. All right, man. So let's I'm pretty committed to Miles Turner, man. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go with Miles Turner.
Okay.
17.5 higher. Ooh, Brunson assist. Or do we just sit there and say we have Brunson double-double as our dog? We leave it at that, pick something else.
I did want to ask you, though, if you had a spicy price for underdog for double-double, just so I can compare.
For Brunson?
Yeah. I don't know if we want to triple down anyway, but just asking. I got to ask what the price is.
No, it's not. It's not worth it. 1.25x.
All right. So you agree on the Halliburton lower. We agree on Turner. Do you want Turner lower for rebounds? Do you want to back Hartenstein because they don't really have a backup center now?
I don't think we can do that. We already got a Turner higher.
Oh, you can't do the same guy?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, you said Dante scared you.
Can't.
Oh, OG rebounds. What are we talking about?
Yeah, for sure. I think
OG double-double is worth considering.
Precious Achiuwa is up here.
Well, he's going to have to play. I don't know how long, but OG might have a double-double shot in this game. So I
he was there, man.
Really like
I had it at 5-1, man. He was fucking there. They took that rebound away.
Run it back.
All right. Let's see. Where is OG? What? Am I tripping?
What, is he not there?
No, they don't have just his. They don't have just his rebounds. Well, that's annoying. I mean, 1.5 first quarter rebounds, but I don't want to do that.
No, I'd rather take the game because he's going to play 40 minutes and change.
Yeah, I don't like that. All right, well, let's find something else.
I'm trying to think of other people that you want to. I mean, do they have I said McConnell assists, but that goes against your team total under. So, I mean, I see people making cases for Achua. I still think Achua is going to play like 10, 15 minutes tops. I just think he takes Robinson's minutes. I don't think he's going to play that much.
What was McConnell's rebound and assist in that first game? He only had 1 rebound.
Well, that makes sense.
They don't have just assists from McConnell. They have rebounds and assists.
Do you want to go Josh Hart with rebounds and assists?
Oh, yeah. We can go Josh Hart. We can do 12.5 rebounds or 18.5 rebounds and assists.
Yeah, 21 rebounds and assists in game 1, but I don't know if you expect him to get the assists again.
I do think it's an under game. Let's go.
It's really annoying that that felt like such an easy choice.
Yeah. I guess we can go Josh Hart. I mean, I don't have a problem taking Josh Hart. I just, it's other players that I was looking at, but I really don't have a problem because at the end of the day, Josh Hart is still expected to lead this series in rebounds, and he showed it easily in game 1. So, I mean, yeah. And I think it's going to be an under game. It's going to be more rebound opportunities. So, yeah, Josh Hart higher 12.5 rebounds.
Sure. Once again, I think we prefer OG, but that's not an option right now. So just keep that in mind.
Let's just double down on Brunson. Let's finish it and double down on Brunson.
Okay. Wait, so how many picks do we? How many things do we have in the entry now?
We have 2. We have Miles Turner higher 17.5. We have Josh Hart higher 12.5 rebounds, and we can add Jalen Brunson. It's 0.9x.
Fine.
Oh, but that's only 2x. No, that's only 2x for 3 people. It's only 2x. I don't know how that mathed, but it did. I'm going back to Dante.
It doesn't sound
I'm going back to Dante. Dante's at spicy 1.1x. Wait, why is this? Oh, okay, there we go. Never mind. It just wasn't. It didn't load up right. All right, yeah, I'm going back to Dante.
So can you just read off the entry one more time? Yeah.
Miles Turner higher 17.5 points. Josh Hart higher 12.5 rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo 1.1x spicy higher 3.5 3-pointers made. That comes out to 6.6x. $100 gets you $660.
Sounds good to me.
I do like the Achua play. Today, though. And
I don't know how many minutes he's going to play.
He's gonna. I mean, he's gonna play. He's gonna play a decent amount. And if this game gets out of because Mitch played 12, so
yeah, that's why I'm asking.
So 15. 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, I think he can 100% get 5 rebounds, especially if there's an instance like last game where Hartenstein is out for foul trouble for any portion of the game. I think he's gonna open up. I think Achua is a guy that I would take the rebounds up a little bit more, maybe even the scoring. Like,
I will never take Achua points, but rebounds I can get behind. I will never take his points. I think he's a terrible offensive player, but he's a good rebounder.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. What's his double-double today?
Who's double-double?
Achua.
Oh, so you're going for the blowout script?
No, I just think Achua. I think Achua is better than you're giving him credit for. I just let
offensively,
I think he's better than you giving him credit for. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's a stout offensive player, but I mean, at the end of the day, I have 2 guys doubling Brunson more than likely this game, and Achua slash into the basket. Like, I 100% think that he can. Anybody, he's in the NBA. Anybody can go around the rim and get 10 points and randomly get 10 points. So if his double-double, which I expect to be a crazy price because Obi Toppin double-doubles at 28-1. So I feel like Achua has to be more than that if they do open up a line for him or somewhere around that number.
100%. My point is Hartenstein played about 36 minutes in game 1. I'm just not sure how many minutes Achua would even play.
Yeah, but Hartenstein rarely gets into 40. And 36, honestly, I believe is a milestone for him. Let me see here. In the regular season, he averaged 25 minutes per game. Let's see. Playoff splits. He's had 30, 27, 28, 26, 30, 18.
Okay.
He has gone into the 40s once. Once this entire season. He played 40 plus minutes once this entire season. That's just not how they use him. One, he gets into foul trouble. It's just not how they use him. So if Achua is taking over, or if he gets less minutes than that 36, because that was abnormal for him, then I think Achua is interesting. So I'm actually kind of selling myself on Achua 4.5 rebounds for sure. I'm probably gonna play that.
The rebounds I can understand. The double-doubles where you lost me. That's a little bit too much for me. For a guy who might play 15 minutes, but I can get behind the rebounds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No. Once again, I think the scheduling for the NBA is kind of absurd. Why did Denver and Minnesota already play their 2 games and we're waiting for every other series to play their second game? I don't really understand that logic, but whatever.
Because they beat the
one
shit
game
out of the
tonight.
first 2 teams.
Hopefully, it's more entertaining than the 2 games yesterday. But hopefully we end up sweeping.
All right.
A reminder: we had a WNBA show last night. Check it out.
Yeah, go watch that. Go watch that right now, and then come back and watch it again tomorrow, and then come back next week and continue to watch it. Because if you're gonna win in the NBA, you might as well win WNBA as well. Scott, myself, continuing this WNBA show that we have going on. So, other than that, make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a first deposit match up to $100. And make sure you go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating and review. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like the video on your way out. Please, it's just a like, a comment, all that helps us in the algorithm. So please, please, please just take a second to do that. Other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way to end the podcast. Just get it like this. We are out of here.